If you talk the talk, you gotta walk the walk. I don't know what you thought, but I've been taught by Yahuwah, by Yahuwah. I say by Yahuwah, you know the all should die, and now y'all all should cry, because the real is back. I say the real is back. I took L's, that's facts, and yet still
Shalom, and welcome back to another lesson here at K.O.I. University. As always, I greet all you Israelites that scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth, in the one and only true name of the honorable, that name being Yahuwah. Now today, family, we're going to continue with the Judgment of the Nations, Volume 2. And in today's lesson, I'm going to be teaching you guys about the prophecy of Gog and Magog, because this is the prophecy that Yahuwah is in the process of fulfilling. And this is powerful because what we're witnessing is we're in the process of our second Exodus. Okay. Now I'm going to be teaching you guys these things. So make sure that you guys are subscribed to the channel for the days and times that we're living in right now, because it's glorious what the All Shaddai is doing. Now I know that a lot of you guys have been indoctrinated with the New Testament. What you guys got to understand is that here at K.O.I. University, K.O.I. being short for the Kingdom of Israel, we teach the original doctrine here, okay? We do not delve into these fantasies in the New Testament, right? The only time that we're dealing with the New Testament is whenever we're debunking these lies that these camps or these Christians are out here teaching that's inaccurate, okay? What ones have to understand is that the All Shaddai in his wisdom, right? When we go into Deuteronomy 28, right? He tells us that, you know, if we violated his laws and commandments, what would happen, right? And we watched that happen throughout the conception of the nation of Israel, of them violating his laws and commandments and being sent into captivity. The All Shaddai is not going to wait until we get all the way in captivity with our enemies and allow them to introduce some new shit to us. And oh, this is no, this is not how it works. Everything has already been written. The blueprint, the yellow brick road to get back to where we need to be is already contained here in Tanakh, and it does not agree with nothing that they got going on here in this New Testament. So as they got you guys watching for Armageddon, the coming of Jesus, or Yahweh Shai, Yeshua, whatever name you calling on, the All Shaddai is actually fulfilling his prophecies contained in the book, okay? And so this message that I'm getting ready, or this lesson that I'm getting ready to do on the war of Gog and Magog, is getting ready to set the tone and put the motion in play, where the All Shaddai is getting ready to prepare us for our second Exodus out of these nations that he scattered us to, because it's written. And what's going on is a lot of these Israelite camps, okay, or groups, or however they classify themselves, have fell in love with Egypt. Just like when we go and read in the days and times of Moses, when Moses came back with the message to tell the people to get ready, the All Shaddai is getting ready to deliver us up out of here, a lot of them didn't want to leave because they had become accustomed with the ways and the lifestyle of Egypt. And it's the same way today. A lot of these Israelite camps have become they have fallen in love with this nation. You know, I'm hearing teachers that's backing and supporting the United States in this war against Iran, which they're not going to win, as I'm getting ready to show you today. But it behooves me how, if we know that the All Shaddai is a man of judgment, a man of righteousness, and we look at this wicked nation, of what this nation has done to our ancestors, right? And then the stuff that they have done over the, you know, in all these different places around the world, they've went and contaminated all of these places. You have what is known as the Epstein files, right? Which has exposed the U.S. government and its lawlessness, its wickedness that these people at the top do. How do you think that God is going to bless America? How? The Congress is corrupt, president corrupt, the alphabet agencies, ATLs, FBI, all of this stuff is corrupt. The Supreme Court, all of these people are in bed together, And for people to think that the All Shaddai is not going to judge this nation, you know, hey, this is why the book tells us, although the children of Israel be as the sand of the sea, only a remnant is going to be saved. So the thing I want you guys to know is we teach strictly Tanakh here. Anything else you're looking for, Armageddon and all this theater, you got to go listen to those the hole in the wall teachers that don't have any type of vision on what's going on, because I'm getting ready to give it to you. Now, let's open up the book and let's get into this, right? Get into this message. One of the things I want you guys to do is make sure you guys are sharing these videos, because I'm just getting back out here in the trenches. So we need a little traction here on the channel. So make sure you're sharing this, you know, with your family, your loved ones, your groups, your people that you study with, your teachers, you know, whatever, you know. And today we're going to start in the book of Ezekiel. And I want to start at Ezekiel chapter 39. And we're going to be looking at Ezekiel chapter 39 and chapter 38. Now, you guys have heard of Gog and Magog, right? Okay. And the prophecy of Gog and Magog. So let's go ahead and get into this, because what I'm getting ready to teach you today is that the war with the United States and what they call today is modern Israel, which we know is not, they are not that, okay? They're going to war with Iran, Hezbollah, the Houthis, and all of them that's over there in the Middle East, right? And so what I'm getting ready to show you today is that this is the prophecy contained in the book that's taking place, and this is getting ready to usher in our way, our second exodus, going back into the land. And it's because what you guys got to understand is that those people have to be crushed over there and destroyed, because this is how the All Shaddai atone for the land. Okay, there's no Jesus and nobody coming up out of the skies. It tells us in Tanakh how he atones for the land. That's why he told the children of Israel, when you go into the land, make sure you keep the commandments, because if not, the land going to spew you out, just like it spewed the people out that was before you. This is the penalty. This is why when the children of Israel left Egypt and they start coming through the land of Canaan, he had them slaughtering those people, because why? This is how you atone for the land. When the children of Israel got kicked out of the land by the Romans, okay, some went into captivity, a lot of them was killed. This is how he atones for the land. Now he getting ready to atone and cleanse the land again for the people that's over there, okay? And we have to understand this, because there's getting ready to be big changes taking place, especially here in the United States, with the children of Israel. Now, let's start here in Ezekiel 39, and let's start with verse number 1. It says, therefore, thou son of man, prophesy against Gog and say, thus says the master Yahuwah, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. So the first thing that we see right here is that the prophecy is against Gog, and the All Shaddai is telling us, I am against you, Gog. I'm against you, okay? So now the question then becomes, who is Gog and Magog, right? Now, the first thing that we need to do, right, in dissecting this is let's jump over to Ezekiel 38. And I'm going to be reading this out of my KJV today, okay? I want to do this out the KJV today, and that way you guys can really follow along and we on the same page here. Now, in Ezekiel 38, verse number 2, it states, son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, right? So the first thing that we have to connect the piece to is that Gog and Magog is one unit here, right? Gog, the land of Magog, right? So Gog is over the land of Magog. Now, excuse me. Okay. So this helps us to understand that the All Shaddai is against Gog and the land of Magog, meaning him and his crowd, the people that's with him, right? I'm against them, okay? Now, let's go into the, let's pull this up, and we need to break some of these names down in here. So we're going to go to Ezekiel 38 and K2. Now, it tells us that Gog, when we look that word up, the outline of biblical usage is mountain. Okay. It says the name of an Israelite, also of some northern nation, Gog, right? And it means mountain. Okay. The land of Magog, right? Okay, let's look that Magog up. And Magog equals the land of Gog. So it's speaking about Gog and his people. So who is this Gog? It's talking about the Europeans. Gog equals mount. What is it talking about? The mountains of the Caucasus, the Europe, okay? Because this is all mountainous area. Now, how do we know that it's talking about them? Okay, it's a simple thing. When we look at, when we look here now, okay. Well, before I get to that, let me break this down. The first European nation, civilization, right, was the Greeks. Okay, so this is why when these white people get to going, I have to sit them down and I have to break the history down. The first white civilization was the Greeks. Okay, black people were already civilized before they even got on the scene. We was here way before them. Okay, we ain't gonna say we was here before them, but we were civilized before them. They were still in those mountains in the Caucasus, hiding in caves and caveman stuff, barbarians, right? We were already civilized. So the first civilization was the Greeks. The Greeks came on the scene around 1200 BC, right? And they essentially stayed a nation and reigned all the way around down to around 300 BC, give or take. This is when the Romans came on the scene. And then the Romans and the Greeks were having these wars and battles over the years. And then approximately around 27 BC or whatever, this is when the Romans took over. And the Romans pretty much held it all the way up until, up until about the Ottoman Empire and stuff like that. Okay. So the point that I'm making here is that Ezekiel is writing this prophecy, getting this vision during the Babylonian captivity. Now, modern day Babylon, Babylon of the day was over in what they call modern day Iraq. That was Babylon over there in that area. Okay. So Ezekiel was in the captivity around 500, 600 BC, somewhere in between there is when he's receiving this. So the point that I'm making here is that if the Greeks was the first European civilization, right? And then after that, you had the Romans around, the Romans were, like I said, they were going back and forth around 300, 200, 100 BC. And then around the end of that, down around 27, 28, 29, 30 is when they basically took over. And then it was the Romans all the way up to the Ottoman Empire. So what I'm saying here is that when he's receiving this, these Europeans that we're in captivity with now, the British and all of them, they wasn't even no nation or nothing like that. They was just tribes living in mountains and stuff. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So this is the stuff we have to break down and bring back to their remembrance, because sometimes they think like they just, like they just superior to this and that, but all of this stuff they learned from us. Okay. So when he's speaking about Gog and Magog and it's speaking about a mountain people, these people are not even a nation yet. They don't even exist as a nation. They're just tribes running around, right? And they're the offsprings of who? Japheth, okay? So now when we look up, when it says the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, let's keep that there and let's go to Genesis chapter 10, to the nations, okay? The nations. Okay. See, I'm gonna give you the real deal. Ain't no all this theater, all of these semantics and all of this stuff that these people be coming up with. We getting straight down to business. Now we're going to Genesis chapter 10, and we're gonna start at verse number 2. And it says the son of Japheth, Gomer and Magog, Madai and Javan and Tubal and Meshach and Tyrus, right? The sons of Gomer, Ashkenazi, Rapath, and Togarma, okay? So all of these are what? European nations. And how do we know this? Because when we go and let's look this up, right? Genesis 10. Let's start with verse number 2 of Genesis 10, and let's go and pull that up in the concordance real quick, okay? When we look at, when we tap on verse number 2 right there, the name that I want to look at real quick is, let's look at Javan right there, okay? Madai and Javan. When you click on that right there, it speaks of Ionia or Greece, right? Excuse me. So we know that the Greeks, these were white people. These were white people. These were, you know, they're from Europe, right? So we had so when we look at this right here, we know that Javan was the forefather of the Greeks, right? And then when we look at Meshach, let's see here. Let's look at Tubal real quick. So Tubal was a region in East Asia Minor, okay, perhaps early equal to Cappadocia. So we're talking about, when we're talking about Asia Minor, okay, what are we talking about here? We're talking about, it says a large peninsula in Western Asia that forms a majority of modern day Turkey, acting as a land between Asia and Europe. Now, what you guys got to understand about Turkey is that Turkey was originally Greeks. The Greeks ran that. That was originally Greek territories. You know, those were Greeks. And then when the Romans came, uh, the Romans, when they overthrew the Greeks, that's when Constantine moved the capital from out of Rome um, to what they call Turkey today. It was Constantinople, right? And then when the Ottoman Empire came in, they changed the name to Istanbul, okay? But it was originally the Greeks. So we're talking about all of this area back during that time period, right? So once again, we're talking about what? Europeans. When we look at Meshach, okay, the descendants of Meshach are often mentioned in connection with Tubal, right? Now listen to this right here. It says, descendants of Meshach often mentioned in connection with Tubal, Magog, and other northern nations, including Moshki, a people border Kolochis in Armenia. Okay, now let's look up that word Moshi. Moshi, right? We just gonna Google search it real quick, right? And now it says Moshki primarily refers to an ancient people, often identified with Mushki or Meshki, who inhabit the Caucasus and the Anatolia regions near Armenia and Georgia. During the Iron Age, were known for what? Ironworking, right? Right? Ironworking, right? Okay. They are sometimes linked to the biblical tribe of Meshach. The term also appears as a surname, often Italians, right? So we're talking about the Romans and people like that. So what you guys got to understand is that Japheth was the forefather for the European, the white nations and stuff that you guys see all out there in Europe. Okay. So now, okay, let's go back to Ezekiel 38. Okay. Ezekiel 38. Let's go back there. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So once again, it says, let's go back to Ezekiel 38, verse number 2. It says, Son of man, set thy face against God, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him. And say, Thus saith the Master Yahuwah, Behold, I am against thee, O God, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal. So what the All Shaddai is saying, I'm against your heart. Okay? And another thing to note is that when you look at modern day Israel, who are these people? These are nothing more than Europeans. Remember the fake 1948 prophecy, which they weaseled their way into the land, right? Where did these people come from? A lot of these people came from Germany, Poland, Hungary. They came from Russia. All of those areas in Europe, they came and migrated into that land, and they still was coming in from, the United States, Canada, and all these different places. So once again, when it speaks about Gog and the land of Magog and his crowd, this is what it's talking about. These are the people that's in that land, okay, from all these different European countries, in Europe today, okay. Now, verse number 4, and I will turn thee back and put hooks in thy jaw, and I will bring thee forth in all thy army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed in all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling a sword. Now listen to this. Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, and all of them that shield the helmets. So now when we look at Persia, who are we talking about? The Iranians. Okay? So all of this stuff is already prophesied, is here. What we see that's taking place in the Middle East right now. Okay? Verse number 6. Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarmah of the northern quarters, and all his band, and many people with thee. Okay? So once again, Gomer and the house of Togarmah are what? These are all Europeans. Okay? These are the offspring of Japheth, okay? It's written, right? Verse number 7, be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou guard unto them. Now listen to this, okay? After many days thou shalt be visited. In the latter years, thou shalt come into the land that is brought back from the sword and is gathered out of many people against the mountains of Israel, which have been always waste, but is brought forth out of the nations, and they shall dwell safely, all of them. So what is it saying here? He said, after many days, I'm going to come back, the land that was bought by the sword. So basically, when he cleansed us of the land during the days and times of the Romans and kicked us out, you guys got to understand that some of those people that was like in the surrounding areas of Palestine back during the days and times of the king of Assyria, you had some of those people that he brought out of there. Some of those people were still in that area. So before 1948 in Palestine, you already had the Palestinians, the people that was in there living in that area from the different nations and stuff. We had already been removed out of there. So this is what he's saying. After many days, thou shalt be visited. In the latter days, thou shalt come into the land that is bought back from the sword. God is going to come into the land that was bought back by the sword. And there was already people in there, the Palestinians, right? The people that they, getting on out there right now. Okay. Now listen to this right here. Verse number 9. This is the fake 1948 prophecy, right? Okay. Verse number 9. Thou shalt ascend and come like a storm. Thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land, thou and all thy bands and many people with thee. Okay. So now what you guys got to understand is that those Europeans that's in that land, they basically have all of the Europeans, because you got to, at the end of the day, you got to remember they're coming from these European lands. There's people from the UK that's there. It's people from Russia that's there. It's people from the United States that's there, Germany, and all these different nations that's there. This is why you see all of these people trying to stand against Iran, and they going against Iran, and Iran put BTA, right? Right? They put down BTA, right? That's right. Okay. Now let's keep going here. Okay. Verse number 10. Thus saith the Master Yahuwah, it shall also come to pass that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought, and thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all of them, dwelling without walls, and having neither bars nor gate, to take a spoil and to take prey, to turn thy hand upon the desolated places that are now inhabited, and upon the people that are gathered out of the nations. So the people that's staying there in Palestine are what? The people of the nations. They're not the children of Israel, right? So they came in 1948, and what did they start doing? Stealing and taking, parting the land, doing this and that, right? Okay, let's keep going here. Which have gotten cattle and goods that dwell in the midst of the land. Now, verse number 13, okay? Sheba and Dedan and the merchants of Tarsus with all the young lions thereof shall say unto thee, art thou come to take a spoil? Hast thou gathered thy company to take prey, to carry away silver, gold, and to take away cattle and good, to take a great spoil? Now, who is Sheba and Dedan in all of these places, right? Well, let's look it up here, okay? Let's just slow it down and let's just do a little work here, okay? 13, okay? Now, what I want to zero in on is, let's look at, when we look at Dedan, right? It tells us that it's a place in South Arabia, okay? South Arabia. So let's look up South Arabia. Oh, wow. So South Arabia is down there by what? What they call today, where the Houthis are at down there, right? Remember the Houthis was having the war with the United States and shut down the Red Sea and all this and that, right? So it's already written. These are the same people, right? We're talking about the Houthis that sit down there on that corner down there, right? Right on the other side of Saudi Arabia, right? And then when we look at Sheba, okay? Or hold on, let me back. What am I doing here? Okay. These are also talking about the Arabs, the offsprings of Abraham, right? With Keturah, okay? Okay. So then when we look at Tarsus, okay, a city in Phoenicia, okay, distant part of the Mediterranean Sea, okay. It's talking about what? Lebanon. So when we're talking about Hezbollah, we're talking about the Houthis, we're talking about the Iranians. It's already written, okay? And this is also while, it tells us that when it says with all the young lions thereof, if you notice, The Ayatollah referred to himself as what? The lion. He said no matter how old the lion get, he's still the lion, right? And if you look at their flag, let me see here. Okay, the Persian flag has what? The lion on there with the sword. Okay, so what you guys got to understand, all of this stuff is already written, and all we're watching is the fulfillment of Bible prophecy, right? And also, we know that what they're doing over there, they're over there stealing, okay, and trying to extort them for uh, um, the land and the things that's in the land, okay? Now, let's see here. 14. Therefore, son of man, prophesy and say unto God, thus saith the Master Yahuwah, in that day when my people Israel dwelleth safely, shalt thou not know it? And thou shalt come from thy place out of the northern parts, thou and many people with thee, all of them riding on horse in great company in a mighty army. And thou shalt come up against my people of Israel as a cloud to cover the land. It shall be in the latter days, and I will bring thee against my land, that the heathen may know me when I shall be sanctified in thee, O God, before their eyes. So what he's saying is, I'm going to bring y'all against not now. When he's saying here the land of Israel, he's speaking about that land of Palestine, right? Because y'all got to remember that land was it was referred to as the land of Israel, but that it wasn't called Israel. Okay, it was referred to as the land of the Canaanites, right? The land of Canaan. But this is where the Most High brought them into, and so when he's speaking about the land of Israel, he's not speaking about us per se. He's speaking about the land. Okay, so verse number 17. Thus saith the Master Yahuwah, art thou he of whom I have spoken in old times by my servants, the prophets of Israel, which prophesies in those days many years that I will bring thee against them? Okay. And we know this because when we go to Deuteronomy 28, what does it say? If you violate my commandments, then what I'm going to do? I'm going to send a fierce nation against you. Speaking about who? The Europeans. Come on, man. It's all written right here in the book. Okay. Listen to this, verse number 18. And it shall come to pass at the same time when Gog shall come against the land of Israel, saith the Master Yahuwah, that my fury shall come up in my face, for my jealousy and my fire of my wrath have I spoken. Surely in that day there shall be a great shaking in the land of Israel. Now listen to this, right? Because this is what's going on right now. Okay. So that the fishes of the sea and the fowls of the heaven and the beasts of the field and all the creeping things that creep on the earth and all men that are on the face of the earth shall shake at my presence. And the mountains shall be thrown down, and the steep places shall fall, and every wall shall fall to the ground. Now listen to this. And I will call for a sword against him throughout all my mountains, says the Master Yahuwah. Every man's sword shall be against his brother. So what are they saying in the news? Iran is attacking brotherly nations. But Iran saying, y'all letting the United States and Israel set up in there and bomb us, so we're going to tear all that stuff up. So now we got Iran going to war with basically everybody, NATO and the whole Middle East. Because they're attacking what? Qatar, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, all of these spots, right? UAE. It's going down. It's going down. Now listen to this. And I will plead against him with pestilence and with blood, and I will rain upon him and upon his bands and upon many people that are with him, an overflowing rain and great hailstone, fire and brimstone. What is he talking about? Y'all see all them missiles going in there, blowing that stuff up, fires ablaze everywhere? This is what he's talking about. It's written. What is Iran doing? They letting it go. They letting it go. They can't stop none, right? He's raining down what? Fire and brimstone, man. Let's quit playing games here, man. Now listen, thus I will magnify myself and sanctify myself, and I will be known in the eyes of many nations, and they shall know that I am Yahuwah. See what I'm saying? Okay. Now, jump down to verse 39. We getting close, right? We're gonna go through this, right? Because 39, chapter 39 is going to be critical here, right? So let's start here at verse number 2. And I will turn thee back. Well, let's just start at verse number 1. Therefore, thou son of man, prophesy against Gog and say, thus says the master Yahuwah, behold, I am against thee, O God, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and leave but a sixth part of thee. Okay, listen to this. And I will cause thee to come up from the northern parts and will bring thee upon the mountains of Israel. So he gathering all these nations. They, hey, send NATO in, send this in. Hey, y'all need to come open up the strait, right? So I'm finna bring y'all in, right? And I will smite thy bow out thy left hand and will cause thy arrows to fall out of thy right hand. Thou shalt fall upon the mountains of Israel, thou and all thy band and the people that is with thee. And I will give thee unto the ravenous birds and every sort, and to the beasts of the field to be devoured. So he's letting these Europeans know they're not going to win. So all the people that's sitting up here, oh, the United States, they this and that. He just told you what's going to happen. I'm getting ready to spank y'all down here. And I'm finna show the entire world what it is. Okay? Let's keep going here. Thou shalt fall upon the open field, for I have spoken, it says the master Yahuwah, and I will send fire on Magog and among them that dwell carelessly in the isles, and they shall know that I am Yahuwah. So who is he talking about here? The United States, because this is considered the isles. Hey, so he telling you what he gonna do to the United States and every last one of them, right? That's right, okay? So will I make my Quadash name known in the midst of my people, Israel, and I will not let them pollute my Quadash name anymore, and the heathen shall know that I am Yahuwah, the Quadash one in Israel. Behold, it is come, and it is done, saith the master Yahuwah. This is the day whereof I have spoken. Listen to this. And they shall dwell in the cities of Israel. Now listen. And they that dwell in the cities of Israel, right? The people that's dwelling there, because we're not in there yet, right? We're not there yet, right? He's getting ready to explain to you why we're not there yet. And they that dwell in the cities of Israel, the Palestinians and all of these people, the people that's over there right now, shall go forth and shall set a fire and burn the weapons, both the shields and the bucklers and the bows and the arrows and the handstaves and the spears. They shall burn them with fire 7 years. So what you guys got to understand is that what are they doing? They hid ammo depots, all of this different stuff down there, right? So that they shall take no wood out of the field, neither cut down any out the forest, for they shall burn the weapons with fire, and they shall spoil those that spoil them, and rob those that rob them, said the master Yahuwah. Now this is profound, because what is the Iranians saying? If y'all gonna use the Strait of Hormuz, y'all gonna pay the tab, and this is how y'all gonna pay it, or ain't nothing moving. So y'all see how the All Shaddai work? All this stuff, the Armageddon, this and that ain't what he said. The same people that robbed y'all is now gonna be robbed. This is why Donald Trump is saying, oh, if y'all don't open this up in 48 hours, finna go down. Man, them people finna get spanked out there. They finna get dusted out there, because it's already written. Okay, follow me here. Right? Those that spoiled them is going to be spoiled. Yeah. This is why you look at the stock market. They're like, oh, it's going down, this and that. Yeah. Because they telling them those days are over with. Y'all want to do business over here, y'all got to pay us, right? And it's going to happen. Because it's written. And it shall come to pass in that day, I will give unto God a place there of the graves in Israel. the valley of the passengers on the east of the sea, and it shall stop the nose of the passengers, and there they shall bury God and all his multitude, and they should call it the valley of Gog. And they've already started burying them. There's a lot of people that's losing their life there, but they have what is known as a media blackout out there because they don't want people knowing the actual number of people that's dying out there. So he letting you know that those Europeans, and they've already starting to die. I got a spot for y'all in there with Israel, you know what I'm saying? But we a place lined out for y'all where I'm gonna bury you and your whole crowd, right? This is where y'all going, right? Here we go, verse number 12. In 7 months shall the house of Israel be burying of them, that they may cleanse the land. Excuse me. Yeah, all the people of the land shall bury them, and it shall be unto them a renowned day, that I shall be glorified, says the Master Yahuwah. So he tells you that this is how you cleanse the land. So these people have to die. This is how you atone for the sin in the land. Ain't no Jesus, ain't no, you know, that this is not how you atone for the sin of the land. We're going to break the Messiah down. When I give you guys the unadulterated truth of the Messiah, I'm getting ready to, I'm gonna move mountains when I give you guys a teaching on this. It's gonna mess you up, right? It's not this stuff you've been taught. Y'all just sit still. But he letting you know that this is what's cleansing and atoning the land, the people that's been shedding the blood and doing what they all of this lawlessness in the land. Okay. Verse number 14, and they shall sever out men of continual employment passing through the land to bury with the passenger those that remain upon the face of the earth to cleanse it. After the end of 7 months shall they search, right? So this is how you cleanse the land. And the passengers that pass through the land, when they see if the man's bones, shall he set a sign by it to the buriers have buried it in the valley of Hamas. So you guys got to remember, they're shooting all these rockets and stuff, buildings and stuff collapsing. It's going to be so much death and destruction. It's going to take them a long time. They still haven't dug out everybody down in Palestine. I mean, down in Gaza that died, and it's all up under those buildings and stuff like that. So it's going to be the same thing in modern day Israel when Iran get done with them and knocking down all of that, all of those buildings and stuff. It's going to take them a long time to get those people up out of there. That's going to be dead, right? Verse 16. And also the name of the city shall be Hamana. Thus shall they cleanse the land. And thou, son of man, thus saith the Master Yahuwah, speaketh to every feather fowl. Let me see here. Let's jump down to 21, right? I'm going to just kind of curve through this a little bit so we can kind of trim it up. But he's talking about the sacrifice, about assembling the beasts of the field and stuff like that come down there. Now let's just jump down to verse 21 right here. It says, and I will set my glory among the heathen, and all the heathen shall see my judgment that I have executed, and my hand that I have laid upon them. Okay? The people of the nations, okay? The heathen. This is them, right? Verse number 22. So the house of Israel shall know that I am Yahuwah, their mighty one, from that day and forward. And listen to this. And the heathen shall know that the house of Israel went into captivity for their iniquity. They went into captivity because of their iniquity. Their iniquity, their iniquity. Right? Follow me. Because they trespassed against me, therefore I hid my face from them and gave them into the hands of their enemies, so that they fell by the sword. Okay? According to their uncleanness and according to their transgressions have I done unto them, and hid my face from them. So what you guys got to understand, and we will get into this when we deal with the book of Isaiah, when they try to the suffering servant, right? It's speaking about the nation of Israel, okay? But what the Father is telling us here is that we went into captivity because of our iniquities. The children of Israel went into captivity numerous of times. It's written in Deuteronomy 28. They went in and out. What you guys got to understand, when you go into captivity, this is the punishment. Some of the people going to die. Some people going, go through the pestilence. Some people go into captivity. This is part of the punishment. It's no different than you going out here and committing a crime. Say you go to jail, do your time, and you get out. When you get out of jail from doing that crime, you're not still, oh, well, you know, you got punished here and now you got to, that's not how it works. It's the same thing with this. This is why he's saying once the land is cleansed and atoned for, right? Our time is up. We've already been judged. This is why everybody here in this nation is trying to draw us into what they got going on out here. Oh, they got eyes going on. Come out here. We need Black Americans, this and that. No, we resting right now. We chilling. Because we getting ready to get prepared for our second Exodus. Okay? What are you talking about? Let's keep going. Therefore, thus saith the Master Yahuwah, now will I bring again the captivity of Jacob and have mercy upon the whole house of Israel, and with my and will be jealous for my Quadash name. Ain't we in captivity? So what are they talking about? Jesus, Yeshaya, and all of these, Yeshua, and all of these people that's cut. That ain't what the book say. The captivity of Jacob, and I will have mercy upon the whole house of Israel, and will be jealous for my Quadash name. After that, they have borne their shame and all their trespasses, whereby they have trespassed against me, when they dwell safely in the land, and none made them afraid, when I have brought them again from the people. When I have brought them again from the people. When I have brought them again from the people. If you bring in brought from the people, that means you're coming somewhere, right? Okay. When I have brought them again from the people and gathered them out of their enemy land and sanctified them in the sight of many nations. We're not originally from here. This is why you got all this theater out here. People, you know, we're the originals. Man, listen, man. I know for sure, we got our records going back to at least the early 1800s, I think 1700s, of when our people came in here in captivity. My great-great-granddaddy was a slave. Okay? Let me see, my granddad. Yeah, my great-great-granddaddy was a slave. Okay? So, we already know this. Okay? So what he's saying is, when I have brought them again from the people and gathered them out of the enemy land, and this is why it's important for us to understand that, because a lot of these camps, a lot of these groups out here, they have become accustomed with the ways of the United States. They love this place. And the United States backing it up like this not going to fall. America getting ready to fall. And he said, I'm going to gather you out in the sight of many nations. Then shall they know that I am the Master Yahuwah, which caused them to be led into captivity among the heathen. But I have gathered them unto their own land, and have left none of them any more there. Neither will I hide my face any more from them, for I will pour out my Ruach upon the house of Israel, says the Master Yahuwah. Now, we're going to talk about that right there. Neither will I hide my face any more from them, for I have poured out my Ruach on them. Okay? So what I'm going to do, and we're not going to get into it today because I want to wrap this up, but when you see this stuff about people being baptized in the New Testament, it's all theater. None of these people have been baptized. None of these people got the Ruach HaKodesh. And we're gonna do a video on that, breaking down when this is going to happen, and the concept behind all of this. So the bottom line, family, is that this war that's taking place over there in the Middle East, everybody need to have their eyes on. I want you guys to make sure that you share this video, get this out here, because we need to get ready. We need to be getting prepared, getting ourselves together, man, because we're going to be entering into our second Exodus. And I'm going to be talking about that in another video to come. A lot of the stuff that's going to befall us once this stuff continue to keep ramping up out here in the Middle East, because what people don't understand is that a lot of stuff is connected to the Strait of Hormuz. It's not just oil. It's a lot of stuff that come through there, energy, food, things like that. and nothing is moving through there. So a lot of stuff has been getting ready to halt. I know that you guys are seeing right now gas prices, stuff like that is going up. So a whole lot of things like that that's happening. So it's gonna get harder here here in this nation in the days, weeks, and the months to come. So make sure that you guys are preparing, stacking up, cutting back on a lot of different stuff, and really staying in tune with what's going on. That way you can be prepared and ready to go. So with that being said, if you guys have stayed here to the end and watched this to the end, when I first got ready to start doing K.O.I University, and I wanted to kind of get everything up and running, my thoughts was at first I was going to set up everything like on the website where you guys can go on there and get a membership and do that. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to put the merchandise out there, the merch, give it, just give it to y'all. I'm not going to do it like that. But if you feel in your heart, like giving us a, like an offering or something, just hit the cash out. We'll be appreciated. Like I said, I'm going to be more active here on the channel. So make sure that you're supporting us. If you can't donate anything, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you share the video, get it out there. All of that stuff work. So I'm going to continue to keep bringing y'all this fire, this heat. If you guys need to get in touch with me, leave a comment below or email me. And with that being said, I'm going to wrap this lesson up. You guys stay safe out there, and I'll see you guys soon. Shalom.